my video. It stopped my video. My alarm stopped my video, so I had to start back off where I was going. But I rebelled against my father, and I was searching for love in all the wrong places. I allowed this boy to take advantage of me. My father despised me. He was very patient with me, but we was bumping, knocking heads, because I was lying to him. I was lying to my parents to be with this boy. I was allowing the boy to drive my car. I was giving him money. I was just all kinds of crazy stuff. And I had a praying grandmother, religious praying grandmother, my dad's mother. God rest her soul. That is my heart. But she prayed for me, and she was very patient with me. And I used to go over her house, and she used to sit down with me and open up the Bible and read scriptures, and then she elaborated on the scriptures we read. And even at that time, I didn't understand. I didn't get it. I'm just like, y'all being super religious, I did not realize it, but that's because I was immature and I was carnal minded. So fast forward, I got out of that relationship. And at that time I was like 20 years old when I got out of the relationship. And because I learned my lesson, because I really see, like, that boy brought me through. He took me through. I lost my vehicle. I lost my truck. I lost a lot of money. He stole from me. It was all kinds of stuff that he has done to me. But I eventually moved on. And then maybe a year later, I met my husband. And when I met my husband, I knew it was something different about him. And he was a hard worker. He worked with his dad's body shop. And so I just used to spend a lot of time with him. And I just grew so close to him. I felt so close, and I felt so protected by him. And I was scared to introduce him to my parents because he looked a little different. A lot of tattoos, piercings, and he lived a different type of lifestyle I live. Like, he grew up in a different type of environment in his household than I did. And he had some things going on that he was battling with from his childhood. And I didn't understand it at that time. However, we continued on to date in court, and my grandmother loved him from the jump. And I remember, just like, I was scared to introduce you to my family because I know what they was gonna say, but they immediately gravitated to him. I don't know, my dad probably took a little bit of time because he had to fill him out, doing what a dad does or whatever. But we grew together, and as we got together, we both were dealing with our demons from our past, from our childhood, because I had gone through some things in my childhood, being over my step grandparents' house, being molested, and also when I went through it, my step grandmother, when she found out, instead of her protecting me and consoling me, she told me if I was doing it, she found out, because I had lied, because she was an abusive woman. I lied to her and told her that it wasn't going on because she was abusive, and I knew she was going to beat me. I've seen her beat my cousins. I've seen her be very abusive verbally and physically abusive to my girl cousins, but treat the boy cousins like they were just God's gift on earth, and they were piss poor. So, but they were misguided. But anyway, I did get off a track a little bit. But me and my husband, when we got together, we were dealing with so many issues, and so we had always had the love for each other, and I felt always protected with him. But I knew, and I had to really break into his heart, and also it kind of had to break into my heart, because I was searching for love, that daddy's love, and he was searching for love like a mother's love. So we over the course of time, as we got closer and closer and opened up and started talking, um, we have gotten really close. But another thing, over the course of time, because I had it bad, I was a people pleaser, because my dad was so, I felt like he was so perfect and he wanted everything perfect. I would always, and then I feel like I didn't get the love, or him actually saying he loved me. I would go out the way to people please people, and I had that really, bad, really bad, and that's something my husband saw in me, and he knew that that was something that I was dealing with from my past or whatever. But um, it's just so crazy how God works, how He puts you with the person you're supposed to be with, and put you with the person that you're supposed to be with, and like what I did not have, like what I didn't have or what I didn't know, He knows, and like it's vice versa for us. And so now that's out the way, and I gave the little backstory on my life and my marriage and all of that. So fast forward, we have 3 children. We have I have our oldest son is 17, and we have a 11-year-old boy and a 5-year-old girl. And then my 17-year-old is my bonus son, and I played a big part in his life from since he was 3. And being a bonus mother is not easy at all. It's not easy at all. I've had many trials and tribulations, and I see people talking about what they go through with their stepchildren. It is hard work. It's hard work. But what I have realized, that the I just have to keep pouring out more love, especially if the other parent is not as active in their lives. Their real parent's not as active in their life. Just pour out more love. So now today, what brought me to this video, because I'm going through something family wise. Me and my husband, we were in a car accident 2 years ago, August 1st of 2021, and we have gone through a season of isolation. We have gone through a season where we had to shift, immediate shift, and adapt to the changes in our new lifestyle, because we were severely injured. I know I look well, praise God, but physically inside my body, I'm still going through a lot. We've had 3 surgeries apart, and we had two of those surgeries this year. So we've been going through a whole lot, and as we have gone through all of these changes, and it took this accident for it to happen, for God to wake me up and realize I was not on the right track. And I have done things out of hurt. I have lived in ways that I know I wasn't raised in, inviting women in my bed, having threesomes, not dealing with the grief of my grandmother, my late grandmother, when she passed. I didn't really deal with it. I just sinned and drank more, smoked more, just living in a sinful lifestyle, because I was hurt. I didn't know how to deal with it, and I was just so hurt on the inside, so broken on the inside. But it took for this accident to happen to sit me down, to slow me down, for me to see what's going on really on the inside of me, and change. This accident woke me up so much, because I thought that we were going to die when I seen the car coming towards us. I thought that we were going to die. I didn't think that we were going to make it out. And we were both knocked unconscious. When I woke up, I couldn't do nothing but cry and thank God that I was alive. However, I was in that state, but I was also in a state of confusion of not really knowing what happened. And it took me months and months for me to really process what really happened to me. And I remember going to the when we were at the hospital that night, we were rushed to the hospital in the ambulance. I wept. I wept in that waiting room. I wept. I cried my eyes out, and I was thanking God just to be alive, to be here, to still be a mother to my children, because I was one of those mothers. I love my kids, but I still had selfish ways. I still had ways of like, I love my kids, but it is a job to be a parent, and I wasn't doing as much as I should, or paying as close to much attention to my children as I should have been, because I was too distracted by other things going on and people pleasing other people that were not in my household. Um, just doing too much, working too much. I was a full-time hairstylist. I was working 50 plus hours a week, always in the salon, not home with my kids raising themselves, my husband at work. It was chaotic. It was, but it took for the accident to happen to slow me down, because I had to stop working. I had to take care of myself, but I was trying to rush myself to get back to work, and I was worried about money so much, worried about how we gonna make it, how we gonna. But then I also I could not sleep at night. I wasn't sleeping at night. I was tossing and turning all night long. I was having dealing with emotions from the accident. I always felt safe with my husband, and I had a moment where I was blaming him for the accident because he was a driver, but it was not his fault at all. But I went through so many things, and I was doing that because I was injured. I was hurt. I couldn't walk. Um, I could walk, but it was difficult to walk. It was difficult to walk. It was difficult to sit. It was difficult to stand. It was very difficult because I had pains throughout my whole body, being shook from an accident at a high speed rate from the car that hit us, and we were already going down, coming down the hill. So it was a major impact. But I dealt with so many emotions and stages of grief trying to heal from the accident. And it was 2 years ago, and sometimes it gets me, but I am in a much better place, such a better state that I was in before. And God is healing my body. I've gone through surgeries, and He's healing my body. He's healing my husband's body. And instead of this accident tearing us apart, it has brought us much closer, and it has made us both realize um, nobody and nothing is more important than our household, our children. And so my focus has become my children. And when I went through a season, when I started going through my season of changes and going through the wilderness, and me growing closer to Christ, I realized that I can't serve nobody else but Jesus, but God. I cannot serve anybody else. I cannot serve man, but I mean, as far as pleasing them, I'm no longer that person who wants to please you. I don't care if you like me or not. I love you, but I'm not going to break my back to please you. And so when I decided to do that and set boundaries with people, with family, and it got really difficult. It got really hard. It got really hard. And I went through a season of spiritual warfare, of trying to fight through all of that, because the enemy is always here to steal and tear and destroy, especially families. He doesn't like unity. And so I'm still dealing with it, but talking about it and getting it off my chest, it helps me. And I do speak, and I speak to God, and I consistently pray, ask and pray to clean my heart, because I don't want to hold anything in my heart from the way that anybody's treating me, because the way that I decided to move. because nobody is more important than the people in my household, my children and my husband. In my home is my first ministry. So now that I'm moving differently, things people don't like that. Um, but God will vindicate me, and I realize that I don't have to I don't have to try to defend myself to anyone. I know that a lot of people talk, but I don't have to try to defend myself because God has me. If he is for me, no one can be against me. Who can be against me? So I want to encourage anyone. I hope that what I said in my testimony about my upbringing and how God has he's transformed my life. My relationship with my father is so much better, closer. It's so much better, and it all became better when I opened up and I told him how I felt. He's always been here in my life, but as a kid I did not understand. But now that I'm older and I'm wiser and I have children of my own, I understand and I get it. And I also know that when you don't get something as a kid, you don't know how to give it. You have to learn how to give it, and that's something that he had to learn how to do, how to show that love to his three daughters. But I hope that this has blessed someone, and my life is just on the rise. It's going up. It's going up, and all the trials and the tribulations that I have faced with my family, my family in my home, my outside family, it's all necessary. It's all for a reason. And even though this accident happened to me, it seemed like the worst thing in the world, but it is what I needed. God needed to wake me up. He had been pulling me for so long to clean up my life and be an example to young women out here who are going through what I have already been through. And now I'm walking that walk and talking that walk. The things that how my parents have raised me, even though I had drifted off to on a different route for a minute, I'm back on track. I was raised in the church, and I'm back in church now. I'm getting my life back together. I'm cleaning it up, and I'm trying to live my life like I'm trying to control my sins. I know that it's we all gonna sin, but as far as being a people pleaser, as far as fornicating, smoking weed, gossiping, slandering, listen to gossip, or being a part of that, all of those things God has delivered me from and set me free from. It's a lot of us that walk that are out here who do not know that they need deliverance. It's a lot of people out here that don't know they need deliverance. It's mean spirits and just evil, and go to church every Sunday, in the church and on the board, and serving for God, but have hate in your heart. You can't do that. It does not work that way. It doesn't work that way, and God sees it. And people who have the Spirit, who have the Spirit, the Holy Ghost on the inside of them, they see it too. We can discern those type of things. However, I'm praying for you. I am praying for you, for your deliverance, and for you to be set free. I remember when my mom told me a little while ago, you're smiling more. I didn't realize that I wasn't smiling. I didn't realize I was walking around with a frown on my face. I didn't know that, but I was holding so much on the inside of me, in my heart, unforgiveness and hurt and pain, resentment. I didn't realize it, but God woke me up. He woke me up, and now I'm living a changed life. And when that change happens, everybody's not going to be happy. Everybody's not going to be happy. However, we are here to please God. And when that day comes, when it's time for me to go home, I want to go home to be with the Lord. That's it, period. I want to go home to be with the Lord. it's too hot. It's too hot in hell, and that's is for eternity. So the things that we do here on earth, that we have to make a impact here on earth, because that's what matters for us to get into the pearly gates. I want to make it in. And so I hope that this video encouraged you. I'm sorry that it's so long. I can talk and talk and talk, but I'm going to end it right here. You have a happy Sunday, a good Sunday. This video is going to be 2 parts, as the first part got cut out. Have a happy Sunday, wonderful Sunday. I hope you enjoy it in church, or at least spend some time with God today. Spend some time with God today. And being delivered is the best thing, to be set free, because you have so much peace in your heart, and that is priceless. You cannot pay for peace. You can't pay for it. Happy Sunday. Be blessed.